can't handle the truth.
The question is, have you ever communicated with any of the following people relating to Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell? Richard Kahn,
No.
Darren N. Dyke,
No.
Sarah Kellen,
No.
Doug Band,
Not that I recall.
Lawrence Summers,
No.
Huma Abedin,
Have I ever talked to her about this in preparation for this hearing? I have.
outside of that,
Not that I recall.
Noam Chomsky,
No.
Leslie Groff,
No.
Nadia Marcinkova,
No.
John Luke Brunel,
No. I don't know most of these people. Should I tell you that I know who they are, or just tell you I never talked to them?
just so you never talked to him,
Okay.
it's fine. Alan Dershowitz,
No.
Kathy Rumler,
No.
Bill Richardson,
No.
George Mitchell,
No.
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew,
No.
Peter Mandelson,
No.
Reed Hoffman,
No.
Karina Shuliak,
No.
Bill Gates,
No.
Ehud Barak,
No.
Woody Allen,
No.
Sandy Berger,
No.
Jess Staley,
No.
Paul Morris,
No.
Leon Black,
No.
Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayam,
No.
Leslie Wexner,
No.
Jack Kessler,
No.
Mark Middleton,
No.
Harvey Weinstein,
No.
Ellie de Rothschild,
No.
Ariane de Rothschild,
No.
Lynn Forrester de Rothschild,
No.
any other members of the de Rothschild family.
No.
I have
There are
another.
photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying from inside this room. Can you please advise me as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules, particularly given that we have asked for a public hearing? If there are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying, can you please explain how that
I'm
can
done
occur?
with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's
So I would like
sake.
to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was,
It doesn't
Excuse
matter.
me.
We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So
well,
I would like to take a break at this moment.
yeah,
and we'd like to have
I'm
a
done
conversation.
for now.
Go off the record. Go off the record.
When your husband was president, it was Lawrence Rockefeller had an effort to try to disclose UFOs, UAPs. When you were running for president, John Podesta publicly stated that you would disclose these files if given the chance, if you had been president. Are you pleased to see that these files may be disclosed finally?
I am pleased. As I say, I think they have to be carefully scrutinized so that no national security information is disclosed. But this is an issue of real importance to so many people, and I think whatever can be disclosed should be disclosed.
With Was there a program that specifically that was referencing that you were aware of?
I was not, as you mentioned, John Podesta, who was one of my advisors, was deeply interested in the issue, and if I had been elected, I certainly would have listened to his advice.
Well, thank you for your indulgence on that.
But this is sort of like off subject, but didn't you all require in the latest defense authorization that the UFO information has to be?
out.
What?
They ripped it out. They killed it.
Oh, I
That
thought
was-
that had gone through.
That was my amendment, and it got ripped out.
Oh, okay, well, you've just, I didn't know that, so thank you for enlightening me, okay.
Yeah, they've been killing it.
I didn't know that.
Next up's Representative Perry from Pennsylvania.
Do you think that Donald Trump should be deposed by this committee?
Absolutely. You know, I was a lawyer, and as a lawyer, you would look for pattern and practice. If you were deposing a witness in a case that you were trying, if you were in court, what did you know about this person? What you knew could influence how you questioned that person, how you tried the case. Donald Trump has been held civilly liable for sexual assault by a jury of his peers. 9 members of a jury found him liable in the sexual assault of E. Jean Carroll. That is behavior. That fits a pattern if one were looking for a pattern. He has also been convicted on 34 felony counts for attempting to hide his relationship with an escort and then to commit business fraud to prevent it from becoming public in the 2016 campaign, which was ultimately election interference. So if I were running the committee or I were involved in this investigation, I would be looking for people who maybe had some prior conduct that might be relevant to either money or crimes. And yes, I think that it would be in keeping with the scope of the investigation of this committee to set up a deposition with President Trump. I know he's been deposed many, many, many times. He's taken the Fifth Amendment many, many hundreds of times. So I'm not saying you're going to get a lot of information. But given what's in the files and given past and prior conduct, he would be on my witness list.
When you saw photos of your husband in a hot tub laying on a beach and getting massaged by other women, and you knew that Jeffrey Epstein was involved in some of these trips and these things, did it concern you at all?
I'm here not to offer my opinions. I'm here to answer specific questions to the best of my ability.
When you saw your husband in these photos with young women being massaged, what went through your mind?
I am not going to speculate.
You didn't have any feelings about young women massaging your husband?
I am not going to offer opinions or speculation about anything that I have no context for and was not there.
After you learned that Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of sex crimes with kids, did any of these photos of your husband with women being massaged on the beach, did it concern you?
I have no context for even answering that question. And I think, you know, obviously the innuendo, all the rest of it.
I'm asking a black and white question. I'm not putting any leading statements into it or adjectives. Did you do anything to determine what was happening in those images or on those trips? That you, once you saw these photos, once you realized Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex offender of children, did you do anything to determine what was happening on these trips with your husband?
I don't find any of your questions to be relevant to the investigation.
Well, it is relevant if a former president was traveling around with young women.
Well, you'll have a
alone
chance.
with them.
You'll have a chance to talk to him tomorrow. Very much about at all.
And then how do you know Howard Lutnick?
I know Howard Lutnick because when I was senator on 9/11, the firm he headed, Cantor Fitzgerald, suffered the greatest loss of life. As I recall, something like 650 of his employees were murdered by terrorists that day. Howard Lutnick missed being a victim because he was delayed dropping
know
his
that. I
child
asked
off
him.
to
Yeah.
kindergarten. You asked the question. I'm going to answer your question.
Now you're gonna yell
This
at
was
me?
what I spent
You're
my
going to yell at me.
time doing.
I'm a
I
survivor
spent
trying to look out for other
Well,
survivors, trying to
and
get to the
I
bottom
was
of it.
taking care
You
of
waited
the
6
people
months
who
to
lost
get here today.
3,000
6 months,
lives
and now you're being
at World
defiant
Trade
and
Center.
indignant today.
You asked me
I have
about
met
Howard
with Epstein
Lutnick.
survivors. I'm a survivor myself. You have emails. You've denied that Jeffrey Epstein, that you tried to get Jeffrey Epstein to give money to you.
I did
but
not.
Howard Lutnick was
If
used
you
to
have an
get
email
money.
with me asking Jeffrey
I
Epstein
have
for
an
money,
email from Howard Lutnick sending it to Jeffrey Epstein and his people to
I
raise
don't-
money for
I don't
you
know about-
for an event, an intimate event for you at his offices
Well,
at Cantor Fitzgerald. You're
look,
going to sit
if
here
you-
today
if you would
and,
let me
and,
finish.
and obfuscate and say to this committee, you didn't try to get money from Jeffrey
I didn't.
Epstein when
I
there was
didn't.
an intimate event in an email that Howard Lutnick emailed to Epstein's people and Epstein to get him to come to your intimate event at Cantor Fitzgerald, a very small event. And so I'm not going to put up. You want to yell at me, that's fine, but I'll yell right back.
Well,
okay? I am looking out for
it's
survivors.
very-
I'm doing
look.
the job that you would not do and refuse to do as Secretary of State. Thank you, and I yield back to
No,
Congresswoman.
I'm going to finish answering the question, which I have a right to do. I am very sympathetic to your personal situation. I have read about it. I have seen you testify or speak on the floor about it. And I very much sympathize with not only what you went through, but appreciate your effort to stand up for survivors. I was a senator representing the people who were murdered on 9/11. Nobody lost more people than Howard Lutnick. You can say whatever you want. You can call him and have him appear before the committee. But I knew him as the man who lost the employees that he knew intimately, including his brother.
And he was a
So
go-between
I
between
work-
you and
Let
Jeffrey
her finish
Epstein
her
raising
answer,
money for
please.
you.
Let her finish her
You
answer.
know what? If you don't want to hear what emotionally affected me, that's fine. But that's why I know Howard Lutnick. I went to the memorial service every 9/11 after the formal service was held.
I see what you're
with
doing here,
all-
and you're
with
obfuscating
all
from
of
the
his
questions. He was the
people, the
go-between
families.
between you and Jeffrey Epstein raising money for your
Well,
campaign.
you know, Howard Lutnick and I did work
Thank you. I will
together
now yield
because
to
we had a lot of
Congresswoman Luna.
victims
Thank you.
to take care of, and we worked together to rebuild downtown Manhattan. That is how I know Howard Lutnick.
Why don't you get over here?
Fine, I'll do the heavy lifting.
Joint campaign, okay, sure.
Fun.
Okay, so we have talked about those connections. In past public statements, as in 2017 speeches and interviews, you described Pizzagate as a baseless conspiracy theory, alleging you and others ran a child sex trafficking ring from a Washington pizzeria basement. Have you reviewed any 2025-2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or relate to those specific 2016 claims regarding the Podesta emails, Comet Ping Pong Pizza used as code possibly?
I'm sorry, does
You're
this
asking
relate?
her about whether
Excuse me.
she's reviewed emails in
In
the
the Epstein
Epstein
files.
files, which relate to the wacky Pizzagate
You
scam.
could characterize it however you want. I just would like to know if she's familiar with any of them.
So
She's
excuse me,
commenting.
your question is about whether or not she has reviewed any emails in the Epstein release files about Pizzagate.
Correct.
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people, that caused a deranged young man to show up with his assault rifle and shoot up a local pizzeria. I can't believe you're even referencing it. You should be.
There are connections to the language. I'm
Well,
not
the
talking
QAnon
about-
people believe there are, so
I don't know what QAnon
have at
people
it.
believe.
Have at it.
But you've accused certain parties, and I think even right now today, of promoting slow walking or information in ways that fuels conspiracies. In your view, did any Epstein Maxwell related investigations or file handling pre or post 2019 contribute to or intersect with the spread of Pizzagate style theories about Democrat figures?
Objection.
I have
Calls
no
for
way of answering. That is the
impossible
most
speculation.
ridiculously
Have you or your representatives identified any Epstein file content that has been misinterpreted online to revive those claims? And what steps, if any, have you taken to clarify?
Again, object on the ground of
I think that this is all very
speculation.
reasonable.
Well, first of all, I don't follow the crazy conspiracy stories that are online. I regret that anybody does. I find it quite sad, but also disturbing that people would believe some of what is put forth, like Pizzagate. So I have taken no steps to review anything
Do you think
that might
pizza-
have any connection to something which I think is totally bogus.
John Podesta, your 2016 campaign chair, appears in some Epstein file contexts. Social overlaps or mentions. Were you aware of any of the Podesta-related communications in the released files?
Can you please provide examples or the evidence that you would like us to review or the exhibits that reflect that in order for her to be able to do that?
some
I mean,
exhibits
somebody
and
starts
pause
with
this
a
question
speak
in
to
the
That when you
meantime.
provide those,
I will get those and I will skip that question until
Congresswoman
we can.
asked generally if she's aware.
generally she is asking if she's aware of specific information that is in the files that you all are relying on. Please provide the witness with
If your
copies of that
client
materials.
doesn't know or has no recollection, she's welcome to state so.
We're also welcome to actually see the information that you're speaking
And
to.
again, the representative is asking general.
I mean,
general
really,
questions.
I mean,
She's
I
aware.
expected a lot of interesting questions today, but Pizzagate was not on my list.
That's okay. We're asking all sorts of things here.
You certainly are. You certainly are.
We're just trying to get the truth out to the American people.
Well, that
and
would
get
be
some clarity.
very helpful.
Are you aware of any files that were on Anthony Weiner's laptop in a folder that was titled insurance, life insurance, with a zip file titled
Excuse me,
frazzle?
I'd like the chairman's
This is
no,
way
I'd like
outside
the
the
chairman's
scope.
ruling.
This is
this
way
within the
outside the
scope?
scope.
Is
this within the scope, Mr.
If
Chairman?
the chairman rules that it's not within the scope, I
Mr.
have
Chairman,
other
based on
questions.
what you said in the public hearing, is this within the scope?
We can go off the record for a moment to confirm
Mr.
with the
Chairman, is this
chairman.
within the scope?
We'll go off
We'll go off the record and can talk.
I think you should have called me. I did take those plane trips with him, and you have a right to ask those questions. So I'm glad to be here, and I understand what the oath is. I will try in this testimony, and I will point it out when I'm aware there's a picture or something that predates this. There's a picture which shows him shaking hands in the White House Historical Association reception. That was in 1993, but I'm not aware of that. I first remember meeting him when I got on his airplane to take the first trip with my foundation in, I think, 2002.
Which trip specifically?
I'm not sure which one it was. Which one was the first? I took all or parts of 4 or 5 trips to Asia and Africa and one to Northern Europe on Mr. Epstein's airplane. And once when I was in Florida, I was offered a ride back to New York.
Mr. President, when did your relationship with Mr. Epstein end?
When did it end? Well, I believe I took my last flight in 2003.
When did you first learn of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes?
I think in 2008 when he was prosecuted. There's nothing that I saw when I was around him that made me realize he was trafficking women, and I never.
Can you briefly, for the record, describe the nature and extent of your relationship with Miss Maxwell?
Yes, it was. It lasted longer and was more extensive than my relationship with Mr. Epstein, because Ghislaine Maxwell started going with a man named Ted Waite, who had made a lot of money. Then when it became, after 2019, when it became obvious that she was involved too, to an extent that I did not know. That was the end of it.
It's on here.
Yes, we can hear you.
Was Jeffrey Epstein on, you apparently took 26 flights on planes connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Was he on every flight you were on?
Was he on every flight I was
Yeah.
on? That's a good question.
If you know.
What?
If you know, their flight manifest,
Yeah,
do you know?
There'll be a record of it, but I think he was, or certainly on most.
You think he was? Well, that's okay. Was Ghislaine Maxwell on every flight you were on, as far as you remember?
The same answer. I think she was, but there'll be a record of it.
Okay. When you took these flights, you're saying a lot of them were on behalf of your foundation or your charitable work, correct?
Yes.
Who did you normally bring on these flights? You know, I assume, employees of the foundation, whatever.
I brought people who worked with me, especially people who would have to follow up on the fundraising, or people who were involved in my AIDS work. I bought people who...
Just like I never go anywhere alone. You never went anywhere alone, right?
What? No.
We always have an
And I had the Secret Service with me. And then on occasion, I had people who had volunteered to help us and wanted to see what we were doing. Right. For example, I think it was on one of these trips, I think, that I had my first trip for the man who's now the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, and his wife. They helped me get started. I hate this, but because I don't believe I should inject anything. But I do not want to leave the impression, but since there was no follow-up question, the president never, this is 20-something years ago, never said anything to me to make me think he was involved in anything improper with regard to Epstein either. He just didn't. That's the truth. As I said earlier, the only conversation I had with President Trump about this was in the early 2000s. And I have no information that he did anything wrong. I just want it all out there. I want everybody to get it all out there and let everybody see where we are. Let me see it. Okay.
Mr. President, we have about 5 minutes remaining in the majority's first hour, so I just want to ask you some questions related to the crimes committed by Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell.
Are you aware that Mr. Middleton committed suicide?
Yes, I am.
In 2022. He was found dead at Hefner Ranch, approximately 30 miles from his home in Little Rock. He was discovered hanging from a tree by an extension cord around his neck with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest. So he was shot and hung. Do you have any information that leads you to suspect that he did something other than commit suicide?
No.
Okay.
Do you have any concerns that this was in relation to his knowledge or relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, given the date?
But the president has
of the
already
suicide?
testified to the fact that he was unaware that Mr. Epstein was visiting the White House. So are you asking him then as to what he would have known?
I'm asking, when you heard about the death, knowing about the things that have been, at this point, it's all over the news, seeing that he has committed suicide, Have you ever had any conversations with people about whether or not that there's any relationship between the two?
Oh, no. No one's ever suggested it to me.
Okay. Thank you. I yield back.
Next up, Mr.
It's really sad.
It is.
Mr. McGuire from Virginia.
He represents UVA.
She stated that President Clinton was her friend, not Epstein's friend. Is that accurate?
I'd say that it was accurate to say that I felt closer to her than to him.
And for the record, why was that?
Because I had seen her more and because she was very good friends with Evelyn Rothschild and his wife Lynn, whom I knew and was in regular touch with.
And what we're trying to get at is some context for the public on whether you remember this photo and any details you may be able to provide us about it. So do you recall the details of this photo or recall the photo being taken?
No, I don't think I ever knew the photo was taken.
Okay, and for those who can't see it, it's a photo of you in a hot tub. There's a person next to you here. Do you remember where it was taken? Where was it taken?
I'm almost sure that this pic, and I think there's an adjacent photograph, which you probably have, that if people saw it, they would feel that someone was trying to con them showing this picture. But anyway, this picture was taken in Brunei. And we flew one night on a trip to Asia, the last very long leg.
You said we, is it, who is that including?
Well, my TIL team that was working
Thank you.
on the AIDS issue, and Mr. Epstein was there, and Miss Maxwell. But anyway, we got to the end of the flight was Brunei. It's a tiny place, but a very wealthy one, and the Sultan of Brunei was a man that I had gotten to know well in my 8 years as president. And his first involvement with international matters was basically to join the Asian Pacific Economic Leaders Conference, which I started and which he attended. And then he was very proud of that, and he hosted, his time came to host it. You know, you do these things in rotation. And it came at either at the very end of my term or maybe the next year. Anyway, he wanted, when he knew I was coming, and he said he wanted to help me with my AIDS initiative, and he invited me to stay there. And he said, I want you to stay at this hotel, and I hope you'll use the pool. So I did, and then I got out and went to bed, exhausted.
Just for the record, there's another picture that also shows this as part of the larger pool area. Do you all have that so that he can refresh his recollection with respect to that?
You should have it. It's quite enlightening. If you watch this,
Yes, it's noted.
It'll
Yes.
give you a different feel.
Thank you.
Okay.
We don't have it with us right now.
Okay,
We do
thanks. I just
have it
wanted to
as
make
well.
sure he knew the
And so
context.
were there other people in that pool or hot tub with you as well?
I don't think there's anybody in the hot tub. I didn't forgotten that there was anybody in the hot tub, but it was big, but it was about.
Well,
He's asking in the pool
It appears
area.
this photo, there's a girl over here, or there's someone.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
But he's also asking in the pool area whether other
Yes,
individuals.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, so you don't know?
No, and then there were other people in the pool.
Okay, so do you remember were they under 18? Would you
No.
know? No.
Were they part of your traveling party, he's asking you?
Yes, they were, I think. I think everybody there was part of our party. It was late at night or late-ish. And I also believe that there was a Secret Service agent there at the other end of the pool.
Okay, and was this in public?
No, it was a hotel room, and the Sultan wanted us to stay there, and the water of this big pool was on the same floor that there were several suites, so we went out, I swam around, I sat in the hot tub for 5 minutes, or whatever it was, and I got up and went to bed.
And then I have to ask this, did you engage in any sexual activity
No.
with this person? Okay, thank you.
First question I have for you, Mr. President. Have you ever lied in a deposition?
No,
Have you ever lied while under oath?
no.
Have you flown on the Lolita Express
I don't know
with
what
Jeffrey?
that
Objection.
I don't know what that is.
Have you flown on Jeffrey Epstein's plane with Huma Abedin?
Asked and answered. You may answer again.
I don't remember, but I have phoned. She's been sort of a part of our family for a very long time. So when I went to the Middle East, which I don't think I ever took a plane ride with Jeffrey Epstein, but she would typically go when I did.
So have you traveled with both of them together?
Excuse me, both of whom, Congresswoman?
Of course. Have you traveled with Jeffrey Epstein and Huma Abedin together?
I do not know.
Okay, thank you.
The witnesses who testified in the Epstein cases that Epstein said, you quote, like them young. Why would Epstein say that about you?
Are you asking his opinion? You're asking him to think about why Mr.Epstein would say
Correct.
something
Why would,
about him?
why would Epstein say that
So
about
she's
the
asking you
president?
to try to be in Mr. Epstein's mind and guess at what Mr. Epstein would have thought about.
First of
Clinton
all,
likes them young, referring to girls.
that's not true.
What's not true?
That I have any interest in underage,
I didn't say underage. I said young.
but it's still not true.
Is an intern young?
Yes,
Okay.
at my age,
Did-
anybody younger than I
Did
am
you
is
know
young.
Jeffrey Epstein instructed a witness to deny you were ever on his island?
He didn't have to since I was never there.
Did you ever travel to Zorro Ranch?
Is that the one in New Mexico?
Yes.
No,
Okay. Have you ever flown on anyone else's private jet 26 times or more for overseas trips?
I have flown as many miles on other jets, but never with as many stops.
How many other people's planes have you used, like Epstein 26 times or miles, etc.?
I don't know. I did with Steve Bing, who's now deceased, and probably with 4 or 5 others.
Okay.
Interesting.
So maybe about a half dozen billionaires total. So, how many dinners did you have with Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein in attendance?
She's asking to the best of your recollection.
I have no idea.
Okay. Did you ever discuss sexual misconduct allegations made against you with Epstein or Maxwell?
Never.
Did Epstein or Maxwell ever offer to help manage or silence women who made sexual misconduct allegations against you?
No.
Did Epstein or Maxwell ever offer financial support directly or indirectly to legal defense funds related to impeachment proceedings or civil actions against you?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you think a young girl massaging a president is unusual?
So are you asking his opinion?
Well, he
You're
was
asking his
massaged by
opinion?
a young woman. I'm asking if he thinks it's unusual that a president, sitting president of the United States, leader of the free world, that
So I'm
it's
sorry,
unusual
are
a
you
young woman
speaking
would
to,
be.
are you talking to the instance of the
Yes, is it unusual that
the
a
back
young woman would be
massage
massaging?
that occurred while he was not president? I'm just trying to understand. You said a president of the United States.
Former president?
Thank you. Just trying to make sure we're correcting the
Are you
time frame.
filibustering?
No, I don't need
Okay.
to. I'm actually trying to make
I
sure
think
that
I'm
as
pretty
you,
clear. He said he
you
was a
said he
young.
was a sitting president.
Excuse me, could we just please go one at a time? Thank you.
You said a sitting president. I want you to be clear so that when he answers
Former
you,
sitting
the
president, how
record
do
is
you want to
clear.
do it? Is it unusual?
I have
Objection
no
calls
idea
for-
if it's unusual.
Objection calls for speculation.
I figured. Did you ever think that all these women around Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell was odd, unusual, weird, or creepy?
There weren't all that many around when I was there.
How many would you say is not all that many?
I think that on this big plane that was working long hours, having 2 to 4 people on there, I thought was, as far as I knew, they were all helping.
Flight attendants in tank tops and jeans, right?
No,
Do you believe you were a victim of a Jeffrey Epstein intel operation? Do you think that you might have been caught up in some of what he was maybe potentially doing?
Excuse me, Congressman, which question are you asking?
I'm asking
Intel
if the-
operation?
first of all, I don't
some type of intel operation. I'm just curious because it's been speculated on today and yesterday
understand.
that he may have been an intel asset. Do you think, perhaps knowing what we know now, the proclivity of it all, that he may have been targeting you as part of an intel operation?
I doubt it.
Okay. In 2019, you stated, after he was arrested, I guess this would be the second time, you stated you knew nothing of Epstein's, quote, terrible crimes since you only met, quote, briefly on only, quote, 2 occasions. Was this statement false?
Excuse me, Congressman,
That's not an accurate statement. Can you please share us what you said?
Yes, in 2019, as reported by the media.
Have you ever had contact with an individual by the name of Shantae Davies?
I believe Shantae that's a distinctive name, and so I think that was the name of one of his flight attendants.
Okay. She's been described on being on a 2002 Africa trip and providing massages. Was she or any other young female on that trip underage at that time?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did you ever receive a massage or have physical contact from her or anyone else on that trip?
You've seen the pictures. There was one time when I was sitting up and I got a back rub, a neck rub.
Okay.
And I think Shantae did it, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Did you ever visit Epstein's Little St. James Island?
No.
We have Virginia Guffrey, who has testified seeing you on the island with 2 young girls. Did this occur at all? Okay. Why do you think she would have made that claim?
Objection, speculation, he can't possibly.
Have you ever met her or any other Epstein associated underage girl?
Not to my knowledge.
I'd like to ask you personally and directly, do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
Are you asking him to speculate on how Mr. Epstein died?
I'm asking what the president thinks of.
So you're asking his opinion?
Mr. President, was your friend Jeffrey Epstein suicidal?
Are you classifying him as a friend who he has testified that he was friendly?
He has called him a friend in a letter.
He said he was friendly, but not. You've asked for his testimony.
Mr. President, do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein was suicidal?
Do you know?
Was he ever
She's asking for the
suicidal?
best of your
I
understanding.
don't know. I only know what the medical finding was. I think maybe
That's it.
he finally got caught, and I don't know. I've accepted it in my own mind. I don't know what happened.
Mr. President, what did you accept? That he killed himself or that he did not?
That he did, but I don't know.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Neither
Mr.
do you.
President.
We don't. None of us know.
Il ne se souvient pas, ou presque pas, sous serment face aux questions concernant Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Clinton répète « Je n'ai rien vu, je n'ai rien fait de mal ». Hillary Clinton affirme « Je ne me souviens pas l'avoir rencontré ». Pourtant, des registres de vol mentionnent des déplacements à bord de l'avion d'Epstein. Des archives de visiteurs montrent des entrées d'Epstein à la Maison-Blanche dans les années 90. Des photographies publiques montrent Bill Clinton à ses côtés. Alors la question change. Ce n'est plus ont-ils été en contact, mais que savaient-ils réellement? Et aujourd'hui, avec les auditions récentes au Congrès, en mars 2026, ces questions reviennent avec une intensité nouvelle. Des déclarations explosives, des colères froides, des dénégations qui ne font qu'alimenter le feu. Lors des auditions parlementaires récentes en 2026, plusieurs élus présents décrivent une atmosphère électrique. Ils parlent d'agacement, de réponses sèches, de tensions palpables. Selon leurs déclarations publiques, Hillary Clinton aura répondu à plusieurs reprises « Demandez à mon mari ». Elle aurait rejeté fermement les questions liées aux théories comme le Pizzagate, les qualifiant d'infondées. Des élus affirment qu'elle aurait haussé le ton face à certaines insinuations, mais allons plus loin dans ces moments capturés en vidéo publiés par la House Oversight Committee. Imaginez la scène. Hillary Clinton face à la députée Nancy Mace, interrogée sur une invitation adressée à Jeffrey Epstein pour une collecte de fonds privés destinés à sa campagne présidentielle de 2016. Les collaborateurs d'Hillary Clinton auraient menti, affirmant que cet échange n'avait jamais eu lieu. Hillary Clinton perd son sang-froid, tape du poing sur la table et quitte précipitamment la déposition lorsqu'elle apprend que des photos d'elle ont été publiées avant son témoignage. Le Pizzagate est une invention pure et simple. Je ne m'intéresse pas aux théories du complot farfelu qui circulent sur Internet, déclare-t-elle visiblement exaspérée. Et quand on lui pose des questions sur ses liens potentiels des clients d'Epstein, les Rothschild, Bill Gates, Huma Abedin, Jean-Luc Brunel, Ray Hoffman, le prince Andrew, Lexi Weiner et bien d'autres, elle répond non à chaque nom. Pourtant, de nombreuses photos publiques montrent le contraire, alimentant le doute sur ces dénégations. Elle accuse même Trump et le ministère de la Justice d'être impliqués dans une vaste opération de dissimulation des dossiers Epstein, insistant pour que Trump soit contraint de témoigner devant le Congrès. De son côté, Bill Clinton adopte une ligne simple, relation limitée, aucune connaissance des crimes, aucun comportement suspect observé. Il reconnaît des contacts, il nie toute conscience d'actes criminels, mais les moments gênants s'enchaînent. La députée Lorraine Boebert lui demande « Jeffrey Epstein s'est-il suicidé ?» Les avocats interviennent, ne veulent pas qu'il réponde. Bill Clinton « Je ne sais pas ». Puis Nancy Mace le presse. Pourquoi Jeffrey Epstein aurait-il dit que vous les aimiez jeunes? Clinton, tout cela est tout simplement faux. Interrogé sur des photos de lui se faisant masser par de jeunes femmes impliquant Epstein, lorsque vous avez vu des photos de votre mari dans un jacuzzi se faire masser par d'autres femmes et que vous avez su que Jeffrey Epstein était impliqué, cela vous a-t-il inquiété? Demande-t-on à Hillary. Elle, je ne suis pas ici pour donner mon avis, je suis ici pour répondre à des questions spécifiques du mieux que je peux. Pendant son témoignage, Bill Clinton sourit et hoche la tête en feuilletant des vieilles photos liées à l'île de Jeffrey Epstein. Son avocat intervient 2 fois pour lui arracher les documents des mains. Un moment ultra gênant. À noter, Bill Clinton disculpe à 2 reprises le président Trump de toute malversation liée à Epstein. Il ne m'a jamais dit quoi que ce soit qui puisse me laisser penser qu'il était impliqué dans quoi que ce soit d'irrégulier concernant Epstein. Un coup dur pour certains démocrates. Mais dans l'opinion publique, la répétition de « je ne me souviens pas » ne rassure pas. Elle alimente le doute. Ces échanges ajoutent 2 à 3 minutes de tension pure à l'audition, transformant une déposition en un spectacle de défiance et de révélations manquées. Ghislaine Maxwell évoluait dans les cercles les plus exclusifs du monde occidental. Elle fréquentait chefs d'État, financiers, universitaires, philanthropes. La Clinton Global Initiative lancée sous l'égide de la Clinton Foundation réunissait ce même type d'élite internationale. Ce qui est documenté, Epstein cherchait activement à se rapprocher de réseaux d'influence. Il a effectué des dons à travers institutions académiques et organisations. Il cultivait des relations avec des figures politiques majeures. Ce qui est affirmé dans les mails de Jeffrey Epstein, qu'il aurait facilité des mises en relation entre grands donateurs et sphères politiques, que Maxwell aurait été présente dans des événements où ces réseaux se croisent. À ce jour, aucune décision judiciaire n'a établi qu'Epstein ou Maxwell avaient participé à la création structurelle de la Clinton Global Initiative. Mais dans une époque marquée par la méfiance, la simple proximité devient une pièce du puzzle narratif. Juste pour vous apporter quelques infos, Ghislaine Maxwell en commission avait affirmé qu'elle était à l'initiative de la création de la Clinton Foundation et les documents Epstein affirment que Jeffrey Epstein est à l'initiative de la Clinton Initiative Global. On peut reprendre. En 2016, l'ordinateur de Anthony Weiner est saisi dans le cadre d'une enquête le visant personnellement. Des emails liés à Huma Abedin y sont retrouvés, femme actuelle d'Alexander Soros. Cela conduit le FBI à examiner de nouveaux éléments liés au serveur privé d'Hillary Clinton. Sur Internet, une autre histoire émerge. On parle d'un dossier nommé Insurance. On évoque un contenu extrêmement compromettant. On suggère qu'il existerait des éléments capables d'ébranler l'établissement. Aujourd'hui, en 2026, ce sujet est directement abordé lors de la commission d'enquête. Hillary Clinton et son équipe disjonctent littéralement lorsqu'on leur demande si elle est au courant de l'existence d'un fichier spécifique sur l'ordinateur portable d'Anthony Weiner intitulé Assurance Vie avec Freeze Lee Drip. La théorie du complot la plus folle qui ferait passer le Pizzagate pour un conte Disney est maintenant discutée au Congrès américain. Des posts et vidéos circulent. Hillary Clinton refuse de répondre. Ses avocats interviennent et l'atmosphère devient explosive. Sidney Powell avait déjà évoqué que le contenu de ce fichier est si extrême que des enquêteurs endurcis ont vomi en le voyant et qu'il devait être géré par l'armée. C'est bon, vous commencez à comprendre la préparation du public, on va aller vers un trou énormissime. Aucune preuve judiciaire publique ne confirme ces récits, aucune inculpation liée à ces allégations n'a été prononcée. Pourtant, l'ordinateur Weiner devient un symbole puissant. Il incarne l'idée d'un secret enfoui, d'un fichier explosif, d'une vérité qui ne sortira peut-être jamais. Dans la guerre de l'information, le symbole survit au démenti. En 2016, les emails de John Podesta sont rendus publics. Certains internautes interpellent des termes culinaires comme des codes. Le restaurant Comet Ping Pong devient le centre d'une théorie appelée Pizzagate. Aucune enquête officielle n'a confirmé l'existence d'un réseau criminel dans ces établissements, mais la théorie explose. Pourquoi? Parce qu'elle apparaît dans un climat déjà saturé. Scandale des emails, enquête du FBI, polarisation politique extrême, méfiance envers les élites. Et en 2026, lors de sa déposition, Hillary Clinton est directement interrogée dessus. Le Pizzagate est une invention pure et simple. Je ne m'intéresse pas aux théories du complot farfelu qui circulent sur Internet, dit-elle. Oui, t'as bien raison, ma cocotte. Elle ne peut croire qu'on référence cela rappelant qu'une telle théorie a mené un homme armé dans un restaurant. Pizzagate devient un phénomène sociopolitique, un symbole de rupture entre une partie de la population et les institutions. La Clinton Foundation met en avant des programmes de santé mondiale, l'accès aux médicaments, des initiatives pour l'éducation et la protection des enfants, des interventions après des catastrophes comme le séisme en Haïti. Ses défenseurs parlent de millions de bénéficiaires. Ses détracteurs soulignent les dons étrangers pendant la période où Hillary Clinton était secrétaire d'État, des soupçons de conflits d'intérêts, une opacité perçue dans certains financements. La question qui alimente les débats est simple. Comment une organisation engagée dans des causes humanitaires peut-elle se retrouver associée même indirectement dans l'imaginaire collectif à un scandale comme celui d'Epstein? Officiellement, aucune condamnation judiciaire ne vise la fondation pour des faits liés au crime Epstein, mais le doute narratif, lui, prospère. Bon, vous avez bien compris qu'il ne faut rien attendre de la justice, hein. Lorsque l'élection arrive entre Donald Trump et Hillary Clinton, qui est déjà bien empêtré dans énormément de choses, survient le Russia Gate. Le dossier Steele, financé indirectement via la campagne Clinton, affirme des liens entre Donald Trump et la Russie. Plusieurs éléments seront ensuite contestés. Certains estiment que l'affaire a été instrumentalisée politiquement. D'autres soutiennent qu'elle reposait sur des réelles inquiétudes concernant l'ingérence étrangère. Dans ce climat explosif, chaque camp accuse l'autre de manipulation. Et pendant ce temps, Epstein meurt en détention en 2019. Suicide officiel, mais le doute ne disparaît pas. Il s'ajoute à la liste. Puis survient le Covid. Le Covid, c'est la tentative de reprise de contrôle de la part des élites qui sont acculées dans tous ces dossiers qu'on vient d'aborder et qui veulent placer quelqu'un pour essayer d'empêcher Donald Trump de revenir. On peut continuer. Aujourd'hui, tout semble connecté. Epstein, Anthony Weiner, Podesta, Fondation Clinton, Russia Gate, un réseau réel ou un réseau narratif né de la défiance. Les Clinton affirment n'avoir rien su. Les opposants affirment que tout est lié. Dans cette ère de guerre informationnelle, la mémoire devient suspecte, le silence devient stratégique et chaque réponse nourrit une nouvelle question. La vraie interrogation n'est peut-être pas qui savait, mais pourquoi la confiance est-elle devenue impossible?
And what's next for this investigation? Who else will you be calling in for interviews?
Well, we announced 8 more people today will be coming in, including Leon Black, who was primarily the biggest money transfer to Jeffrey Epstein from the limited bank records that I've been able to obtain. Leon Black was a major funder of Jeffrey Epstein's personal wealth. So we're going to bring him in. There was a Wall Street Journal about Leon Black where several women had accused Leon Black of wrongdoing. Kathy Rumler was President Obama's general counsel who later went on to Goldman Sachs. She communicated with Epstein all the way until the end. She was trying to defend him. Then people like Bill Gates, again, some of the most powerful people in the world who have been named in the Epstein files. We're going to bring them all in, and we're going to ask them questions, and I hope it's in a professional manner. I hope we can do it quickly, and I hope we can get the truth to the American people and hold anyone accountable that we find committed crimes.